what you eating right now?
Something you never ate before. Chicken and rice.
That's funny. I'm actually yes,
Dude, have you ever had like some calculations on how much chicken you consume per year?
bro. Like when I think about stuff like that, it makes me nervous, bro. It's like, yo, how much chickens had to die for me to be 300 pounds? You know what I'm saying?
A
Or
lot
just
of birds.
yeah, man. But one thing I never do is I never count how much I spend on food because I almost don't want to know, bro. I feel like
That's
it's
true.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's so much that I don't even want to know how much to spend.
Yeah. It's a blessing though. Can't.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I think that's one thing that I know somebody like you. I feel like you always grateful for this, but I think in general, a lot of bodybuilders like we do too much complaining, and not realizing that we're privileged to be in a position to even be able to be healthy enough to do it and to be able to afford it, bro. Like literally to be able to afford it is a blessing, you know.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But we work hard too. So
Exactly.
not too many people have the belief first and they don't have the work ethic as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know?
And also, I feel like it made me work harder, bro. Bodybuilding,
Yeah.
as a sport, it made me work harder because once I knew I wanted to do it, um,
Mhm.
I realized, okay, we're gonna try this. My internet is saying, yeah,
10 years ago, bro, I'm sorry to cut you off. 10 years ago, I was a dishwasher for Chipotle.
you,
Exactly 10 years ago. Yeah.
you see, shit.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was 21. I was bouncing at that time, but before that, I was doing banquet setup. So I would basically at the hotel, I would set up the tables and like take out the trash, set up the dance floor. I would clean if they needed me to clean, basically whatever they needed. But like I didn't feel bad about it. Like I knew this was just a means to end. I knew this was just a step that I had to take
Yeah.
to get where I wanted to get, and then from there I started bouncing. And same thing with the bouncing. Like I was never like I'm a bouncer. I'm a security guard. Like that was just something I did, as like a means to end, you know. And
Yeah.
it's good to dream big, big, but I'm noticing I've been around a lot of younger people, right? Going to like zoo culture and stuff. I think people want that end goal with no struggle. They think you can just come out of high school and be like, okay, I'm gonna just start a business and be rich, right? They almost don't want to do the groundwork and say, okay, let me get a job. I'm not working for anybody. I'm going to be my own boss. And it's like, that's great, but there's steps that it takes to get there. In order to be your
Yeah.
own boss, you have to learn how to be an employee first. And like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a step. You have to learn how to work, build that work ethic. You can't just say out the gate, I'm never going to work for anybody. I'm just going to, if it works that way, good for you. But that's not how the journey works. You don't get to control the journey. All you get to control is how hard you work and the destination, I guess, to some extent, you know.
Amen. I never asked you this, but did you move to the USA or were you born here?
I was born here. So my parents had my oldest brother was born in Ghana, but my parents came here when they were I think my dad was in his early 30s, probably my age, and then my mom was in her early mid 20s. So they went to straight to New York, and then they started having us. So I have four other siblings. So they had us here, and then yeah. So we basically born and raised in New York, and I moved out to LA about 7 years ago now, 2017. So like 6 years now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
and then you know how parents are, especially like what do you call it? My parents are West African, they're Muslim, so it was doctor and lawyer. That was it. It was doctor and lawyer. Nothing else. You couldn't. No basketball. We don't want you playing basketball, football, none of that. Just doctor and lawyer. And it's like I don't think
That's it.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think I have any interest in doing any of that. You know, I get it. I get why, because it makes sense. You want your kids to be successful, but that just never, got me going. You know.
Yeah, but look where you're at today, bro. That is incredible. That's seriously incredible. And honestly, man, I feel like how can I say this without being insensitive? But I really mean this the best way I can. But I noticed that as for bodybuilding, I'm talking strictly for bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that the people that are not from the USA
Yeah.
are harder working than the people that are born into the sport
Yeah.
and grown up with it. Obviously there are some exceptions, but I'm just saying generally when I see somebody like coming into the US, they're probably going to have a better work ethic, better vision, better focus. They
Yeah.
understand things better, or they're willing to go and fucking scrape the floor, do everything it takes to build from the ground up. That's not found in many people, man. You got to know this. And some people will always tell you what their dreams are, but they never actually work for them. They're just
Yeah.
saying.
No, you're 100% right. Honestly, I think that goes for just everything, not just even bodybuilding, but what it is. I think life in America is too easy. You know, I know people say like life is hard and stuff like that, or this country is messed up, but this is the easiest you're ever gonna have it. It doesn't get any easier than this. So I think when life is too easy, people create their own problems, and then people feel bad for themselves, and you get like the victim mentality. And I think that's really what makes people not work hard, because people are too busy complaining to actually work hard. But I know Martin works hard. Marty works.
Every once in a while, man. Every once in a while. What's up, boys?
Hey,
Chilling.
what's going on? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I was trying to set this up on my computer, but Zoom's trying to do an update, so I just threw it on my phone instead.
No, you good, brother. You good, brother.
Yeah.
Can you flip your phone sideways? Anyway, Zade, you know Marty, right? Marty, this is Zade. He won the light heavyweight at the USA, bro.
How
Okay.
you doing, bro? I'm a big
Congratulations.
fan of your physique. Thank you, man. Been following your journey for quite a while. You're a
Hey,
beast, my
thanks, man.
friend.
I appreciate that as well, man. It means a lot.
Thank you, thank
Bro,
you.
Marty, this guy was the biggest light heavyweight I ever seen in my life. Let me share the screen real quick. But I saw it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he looked like a super, bro. Like the shit
That's
didn't.
I
perfect.
wish, dude. I wish.
the
It's
shit
just
didn't.
I sucked down from the heavyweights to the light heavies, you
Okay.
know,
What?
and it worked out. It worked out really well.
Hell yeah.
But
Oh, you want a card? That's what matters, right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
And
What weight class did you turn pro as? Marty.
I won the heavyweights, bro. Nick won the supers. I won the heavies. And Dougie Flex out there from Pittsburgh, he won the light heavies.
Okay, yeah. I know Doug. He won a couple of 212 shows.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty dense too. But
No, yeah, bro. I saw this video. You looked awesome. I thought you were heavyweight for sure.
exactly that's what I thought.
No,
And
you did it. You did a good job of sucking down and then filling back out. It it's awesome when you can do that. It's so hard to fill back out though. It depends on the guy, man. Some people can do it and some people can't.
yeah,
it all depends on how well you take in carbs, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you have to eat like crazy?
Dude, from at prejudging, I was 205. At finals, I was 220.
man.
Yeah, yeah, I blew up. I was ready at 210, dude. And then I
Okay.
sat in the sauna for 3 hours before weigh-ins. And I
Yep.
fucking shed like 10 pounds of literally
Yep.
intramuscular water. And
Yep.
then once I made weight, I started drinking 2 liters of water and eating a bunch of carbs, the right carbs, not junk food. And
Yeah, yeah.
then we had 24 hours to fill in. We filled in, but not fully. We were about like 70% by the Friday morning. I was able to make the first call out and center stage, And then for finals, I wanted to fight for that overall. So I kept
Yeah.
eating all throughout. You know, for bodybuilding, for USA's, we go 9 a.m. for
Yep.
prejudging, and the next day at 9 p.m. for finals. So you
Right.
got a lot of weight, a lot of time to eat up, you know. And I ate
Hell
every
yeah.
2 hours, dude. I would eat something every 2 hours.
Hell
And
yeah.
by that video right there is about 219 on stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
It was
man.
good.
I
Thank
think,
you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
that's
God.
awesome.
Thank God. Thank
I
God
think,
it panned out, you know.
but like Marty said, like a body type like me, if I try to carb up more than literally like maybe 5 pounds or so, I start to hold water, you know, because
Yeah.
Yep.
my muscles have good separation, but not good hardness. So even this as a USA, I was super flat and shredded, but my muscles don't appear like grainy or hard. It's just like
Right.
it appears like okay, he's in shape, you know. So if I push the fill out process like I did at the Cal, you can see my glute lines were in, but at the same time, it looked like I'm holding water under my skin. So
Little filmy. Yeah.
yeah, so I try to battle out like okay, let me try to take a diuretic as I carb up, and it works to a point, but I just can't push the fill out. So I think I have to stay fuller during the prep and not go zero carbs for 14 days. Maybe balance that more out. So at the end, I don't have to fill out at all. I could just, okay, maybe just add 50, you know, I don't know, 100 grams of carbs per meal, something like that.
Yeah, man. And I've had it go like both directions for me. I've gone to where we pushed so hard that like I got flat, and then I just couldn't fill back out. I could eat like we were eating like 200-300 carbs a meal and still like just not filling out, you know. And some of that was probably water intake more than anything. Now that I'm more advanced, I kind of have a better read on kind of what some of those mistakes were as a younger guy. But I naturally stay that tight, dry always. So I just I try to go in where I'm close to, you know?
Yeah, fact. Yeah, you have one of the best peaks I've seen as a pro. Like, I don't think I think that was Texas. I don't think
Yeah.
you've been 1 ounce fuller, 1 ounce leaner, or 1 ounce dry. I felt like that was a perfect peak. I don't know if you would agree, but you were
Yeah. So
right?
honestly, bro, I wish I could have put the perfect look on stage at the Arnold UK, because about an hour before stage, bro, I hadn't seen a better look on my physique ever. Like, it was the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life.
Uh-huh.
But I would go flat super fast. So like I could feel myself as we were pumping up. I was like perfect. And then they told us like, okay, you guys are gonna do comparisons, and then you're gonna do your 45 seconds, and then we're gonna do call outs, right?
Yeah.
And then they brought us backstage, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna do 45 seconds first. And bro, I could just feel like I'm gonna be flat as fuck by the time everybody does this 45 seconds, and I'm not gonna have time to eat. But after the comparison and before the call out, like I needed to.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to the call out, I was starting to fade. But the Texas look, bro, I was like as full as I possibly could. Like, it didn't matter what I did. Like, I could move, I could feel every muscle, every fiber, like everything was just perfect. I will say that I was like a touch too full, to where as I posed hard, I started to like pump out. Like, my quads filled up. Like, they started to lose detail because they just started to pump out. Like, it was like I was squatting, bro.
Yeah.
So you got to find that happy mix, you know?
Dude, just for the record, I honest to God, now that I met you, I had you winning that show over
Yeah, I
Andrew.
appreciate that.
Because we all know as bodybuilders, hams and glutes are the worst thing to get in.
Yeah.
So once I see shredded hams and glutes all the way up to your fucking glutes fucking peeled, this must count for something. I know he's very awesome to look at, but you were more complete. And to me, man, you had that first place, to be honest.
Hey, I appreciate
this
that,
dude, it's too hard to get, and not too many people get it. So once I see a second place finisher has that grainy look in that first place,
Yeah.
That kind of tells me, man, because honestly, dude, these were gaps in his physique. You had a lot less gaps and less flaws to me. So,
Yeah.
fuck.
No, and you know, I honestly, man, like everyone I talk to, it's about 50-50. You know, it's almost, it just depends on what you appreciate more in bodybuilding. You know what I mean? It's like, are you a shape guy and you really appreciate the shape and the beauty? Or do you appreciate the really grainy and the hardness and stuff? Like, we all know what it takes to get in shape, man. We also know what it takes to get big and huge. And he's a monster, man. I mean, he definitely dwarfed me in shots. He's big. And I'll give it to him, bro. Like, watching him improve has been awesome. Watching him at this Texas Pro this year, it was a much better improved Andrew. So I got to give it to him, man. Like, he took the criticisms that everybody said and he's working on them. You know what I mean? So that's all you can do as a bodybuilder. Can't knock him for that. You know?
Not at all. Yeah.
So okay, so
But it's not like you don't have shape. You're speaking like you don't have shape. You're a shape guy with granite hard conditioning. So it's not like you're not a shape guy. So you honestly had him. Honestly, to me, you fucking had him. You
I
know, it's
appreciate
about
that, man. Well,
it's about
very,
who's more
very soon
complete.
we'll make a little rematch of it.
yeah, okay,
So that's what matters.
so here's the thing, right? Andrew has an amazing physique, right? We all know that, right? But also, it's like when you judge it from the criteria of like pure bodybuilding, what are you judging, right? You know, muscularity, conditioning, balance, flow, all that. When you break it down like that, then there's no way you could technically lose that, right? But he kind of bamboozled when Andrew comes out, all eyes go to him because the
Oh,
stature,
he's a freak, bro.
yeah, you know, yeah, because he's a freak. But then when you actually break it down, what's going on here? Who's more muscular technically, not who has a bigger frame, right? You didn't have a ounce at that show. You didn't. It didn't like you had an ounce where I could say, okay, you need more muscle here. There was no gaps. It was like everything was bursting full and conditioned, right? So that automatically should be. That reminded me of like a Compton, Bonac, Phil. Like those are the people that I see that can be that conditioned and be that, you know, filled out
Man,
with.
those are my favorite bodybuilders. So you're speaking my language.
You know what I mean? Whereas Andrew, at first glance, you're like, holy fuck, this is an alien. But then you
Yeah,
look like, okay, he could actually use more muscle in his arms, forearms. Okay, maybe he could use a little more quad. And it's crazy to say because his arms are huge and his quads are huge,
yes,
but
yes.
his structure is so huge that he still needs more. You know what I'm saying? You know, so
Yeah,
I think a lot of us watching that, we were happy for Andrew being, you know, a newcomer and winning, and we all like Andrew. But at the same time, we were like, he could have done a lot more. I feel like he needed more improvement than you did. You know, I feel like there was
I can
more,
see that. Yeah.
you know, so
No, I mean, dude, for me, like the biggest thing there was like I felt like I brought the 100% package because I wanted to win Texas more than anything. Like Arnold UK was definitely on the radar, but you know I wanted to win at home. You know, so we did bring me in like 100%, and like he even came in and said like is you know like um we brought in like 80% or whatever. I don't remember what he said in the interview, but he said like I wasn't 100%.
yeah.
And that part kind of like that messed with me a little bit because it was like, man, you guys are rewarding like 80% then, and then like, so what? Why go to 100%? Like I felt like wronged, and
Yeah.
obviously, you know, I was a little asshole and stuff, and I spoke my truths and how I felt, but now looking back on it, bro, like I needed the knock on the chin because it made me come back and work a hell of a lot harder. And
Mhm.
I'm really excited for what I'm going to show this next year because of it, you know?
Good. Well,
Hell yeah.
it's funny you bring that up. That's another topic I want to cover, like emotions, right? Like controlling emotions or whatnot. A lot of people don't like what Nathan did on stage, right? I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think you should necessarily show it to that extent on stage. But let's be real. If you're a good loser, then you're a loser. I mean, you're not supposed to be happy you lost. I get that. But Marty, like on stage, you didn't throw the trophy or do anything. You just took it on the chin, and then you let your emotions out when you get off the stage. I'm completely fine with that. You know, like we have feelings,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I don't think athletes should be like these robots who have no feelings. I just think on stage you should, show the sportsmanship, which you did, Marty. So what Nathan did, like, it wasn't that bad, but I think on stage you got to conduct yourself a little better. I think off stage, fuck it. I think, but say whatever you feel. I mean, if you're being honest, as long as I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, we all have feelings, we all have feelings.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human, bro. Like like you said, I mean, if you're okay with losing and you feel good inside when that happens to you, like you probably shouldn't be doing this, man. Like we all come to win first place. Now, again, like this isn't a fighting sport, so like how mad can you get at the guy that beat you versus mad at the judges because they're the ones that picked it. It's not. There's not a winner and a loser, which makes this really hard sometimes, especially when you come from other backgrounds. Like for me, I came from a football and a wrestling background where like there's a definite winner and a loser, and the other guy takes it on the chin and he's dragging his knuckles home,
Exactly.
So that part is hard for me sometimes to like put it in perspective, like, yo, he didn't do anything to you. The judges picked him. It's just an opinion. Next week can be different. I mean, look at this, what happened to Nathan. Now, what Nathan did on stage, man, like I'm never going to knock it because I did that. I've done that before. It was just when I was younger.
Yeah.
But it's when you bring this look and you're on, man, there's a time and a place and so like it's really hard when like it's like, dude, the 5 people at the table said I didn't win, but like this whole crowd, this whole building, everyone online said I won. Like it makes it really hard to like swallow that, So
right.
We get all these eyes on us. The other thing is, bros, this is such a small sport. Everybody thinks they like know you and they know your personality and what you're going through. And it's like, no, you don't. I promise you have no clue. And like, people don't judge NFL football players when they get mad and throw their helmet on the ground and scream at the top of their lungs, man. Like that's football, right?
Yeah.
But bodybuilders, like you're just supposed to be like perfectly emotioned and keep your shit cool all the time. It's like, bro, we're the ones running hormones. We should be the ones that it's okay to be a little bit crazy, right?
Exactly.
So,
that's true. But I did find it very disrespectful from Nathan for doing that because the week prior, when he won over Regan came there and shook his hand, congratulated him, and walked off the stage. It shows what kind of person Regan is. But when he just lost to him, he's not the same attitude,
Right.
And unfortunately, that sucks,
That's my only concern.
Yeah.
My only concern is that the emotion is fine. It's just that you want to show respect to the other competitor. So it's not even anger. The anger is fine. It's just that you don't want Regan to feel like, because they're actually friends, so you don't want Regan to feel like, oh, this is my friend, but he's like not showing me like any respect in the win. That's more my worry. But as far as, no offense, but like when it comes to the judges, you can be mad at the judges even if they're their choice is fine though, but you can have emotion. It's not like, oh, this is a judge, I can't be upset. You can be upset. It's just that you don't want it to look like you're mad that this person didn't do anything wrong to you. Regan wants to win like you want to win. So I think I'm more concerned in showing respect to the competitor. I don't mind showing my feelings in general, but the competitor, like, okay, I do respect you, Regan. Good win. I felt like I won, but good for you.
Yeah. And bro, like, believe me, don't get me wrong. I totally understand because, like, in this instance, I understand because Nathan is one of my best buddies, and so it like I hurt for him when he lost, right?
Yeah.
But when I watched when Flex Wheeler did it when Ronnie won, I'm like, yo, that you're a disrespectful punk.
Yeah, don't do that.
So. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I totally get it. It's like, yo, like, Ronnie had his time, bro. Like, you just let him have his time. Like, shut your mouth, right? So I see it both ways. And really, like, the only reason I'm sticking up for Nate's because he's my dog.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I totally get it because the one time I did do that on stage, man, afterwards, I'm like, yo, like, he didn't do shit to you. You shouldn't be a dick to him. Like, he did nothing wrong. Like I said, man, like, we're both trying to win, like you said, and it comes down to the judges.
Exactly.
But again, I know where Nathan's head's at, and he's very much like me. Like, he's a dog eat dog world. Like, he's gonna he I guarantee you, he went to Regan backstage and told him, like, yo, I whipped your ass too, right?
For sure.
Because that's just how Nathan is, bro. So, like, at least he wears that shit on his sleeve. Like, he ain't no punk about it. He gonna say it to everyone's face.
Yeah.
So, like, I do appreciate, I at least appreciate that. Like, he ain't no bitch. And if you're gonna try to call him out on it, he'd be like, yo, I'll whip your ass on a bodybuilding stage too.
That's right.
You know what's funny? That's kind of similar to you versus Andrew Jack, because I feel like Regan won on structure and how pleasing his physique was, but Nathan was shredded and full to full at the house.
Yeah.
If I was a judge, I personally had Nathan winning.
Regan is wider though. He's a lot
yeah.
bigger and wider.
Of course.
I honestly was very happy that Regan won. I cheer for Regan between those two, and. Man, the height and the width together, while having legs that are very excellent.
Yeah,
that's enough to take out Nathan in my eyes. I had him winning the first one actually, but then Nathan won, and that's all right. But he won the next one. I feel like he should have won both of them.
You see, bodybuilding is super subjective. Like, you're probably the first one I heard say that. Like, I think everybody's happy for Regan. I'm definitely happy for Regan. I just don't think he had more tools than Nathan. I think,
dude. I think for me, the thing is, bro, is like, some of us know if Regan got peeled out of his mind,
he would win.
Wow factor would be so crazy that, like, we're never going to give him that pat on the back until he does it. Yeah. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, bro, don't get me wrong. Regan's shape and his muscle bellies, and, like, he looks sick as fuck.
Yeah.
But he is still 80% every damn time, and it makes me lose my mind.
Yeah. If he was as shredded and as filled out, well, he was filled out, but it had a different pop. Nathan had a different pop to him. But if he bought like a similar look to Nathan with his structure, well, then nobody's standing in his way. It's just that it's funny because sometimes when you have good genetics, the judges might be harder on you, like a Cedric maybe, or like an early Rami, or sometimes they might give you the nod. With Regan, they've been harder on him usually, but they gave him the nod this time. Sometimes, with Andrew, they seem to be giving him the nod, whereas Cedric had a similar thing. I think Andrew is harder than Cedric, for sure. But
yeah, he is.
Yeah, but still, I feel like sometimes they're like, you know what, we're gonna make you work harder because you have so much potential. Versus like, you know what, we see the potential, so we'll give you the nod. I think it depends, where you're at, So I feel like they gave Regan a nod because they're like, okay, you made them, because technically he made the improvements they told him to make, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what, you listen to the feedback, you made the improvements, we'll give you the nod. I just thought.
But let's be honest. Nathan has chest and biceps over Regan. Everything else either matches up or better. Only chest and biceps that Nathan is a lot thicker in terms of muscle itself, but everything else it either matches up or it's better for Regan. And he's taller and he's wider. Honestly, he should fucking squeeze his ass while he's doing the back double and back lat spread. It would make him a lot more better in those shots versus Nathan, who has zero striations in his glutes. But he likes to keep his ass or his hips out, to make the adductors touch.
I don't like that.
I think if he flexes all the way, he's going to create that distance in the back shots. And he's only losing to him for chest thickness and bicep thickness. Everything else, in my eyes, matches up, and he's taller, so obviously he's a little better for me. But I don't know, man. I saw the podcast you guys did on when he got first place, the first one on Italy Pro. Yeah, same thing. I feel like the conditioning is the same. It's just a taller person and a wider guy.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't
I
think.
mean, I don't see it, bro. But
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
see what you're saying. Like I mean, I think Regan is good, bro, and I think like he has all the tools to beat Nathan. But Nathan was just he's just so much crisper in all the in like an all around
Yeah.
aspect. It's like a man, I don't even know like how to put it. It's like just like he's cooked to the perfect point, you know, like they peaked him just right and everything, you know?
The look, see, yeah, I don't think it's a body part thing. I don't think like Nathan has
Yeah,
body parts that blows him away. Like
yeah,
Regan's arms can't hold him. I think they're pretty evenly matched body part wise. I just thought like the look to the skin, the way the skin wrapped around the
yeah,
muscle was so tight. The separation like in the leg, you see the side leg, it just looked harder, grainier. I think he was drier and fuller. So
yeah,
the skin pushed against the muscle pushed against the skin better. I don't even think necessarily he had less body fat. The body fat could have been the same. You know,
Yeah.
fullness might have been. He just looked to me drier and fuller. Like it was literally just a better peak. And that's the way I
yeah.
see it.
Better combination. Yeah,
Yeah, if he at this point, if he an overall better bodybuilder, I don't know if I can say he's just better, but he had a better peak. I think if Regan peaked as good as Nathan, then I think he would be able to beat him. You know, so
He's gonna place higher than him at the Olympia.
who's gonna play higher?
Regan.
Okay,
you think?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
let's see
Okay.
it.
They like
It's possible.
bigger, taller people over there, you
It's
know?
possible. It really depends how you look in the lineup. I feel at the Olympia. You know,
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
I
yeah.
see.
Olympia's tough, bro, because if you get stood next to somebody wrong, it could screw you completely for the next three guys above you.
Yeah, like Tonio, I feel like he looks incredible. And then in the lineup at the Olympia, he doesn't really stand out. You're kind of like he didn't really pop, stand out at all. But he has an incredible physique. I think the Olympia is tough, man. You have to have like a Olympia looking physique, which sounds weird, but your physique has to like almost work, work. It has to look good against those other people, you know. I will say Regan has a similar physique to Derek Lunsford. I would say Derek has like a
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. I think Derek has a more pronounced V taper, but they have very very similar strengths. Like as far as the back, the shape, the structure,
And
So
how come Derek is placing a lot higher then?
But that's because Derek gets
it,
peeled out of his mind, bro.
yeah, he definitely gets more shredded. Like his glutes, the way his glutes is knotted up back there looks insane. I gotta be honest. They have a similar. I will say they have a similar look from the front. Like Derek's chest and shoulders doesn't look super separated and striated, and Regan's doesn't neither. That which is similar, but Derek is he definitely in better condition. He wasn't super full at the Olympia, and he could probably be a little fuller. But I definitely say Derek is definitely a better bodybuilder than Regan. Potential wise, Regan may have similar potential, but potential is just potential, And, until you 100% nail it, I still don't even with the win. I still feel like Regan wasn't 100%. I still feel like he had which is a good thing. If he won not 100%, that means he can go really far. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's definitely similarities there. But Derek is peeled, man. Derek is peeled. But yeah,
Crazy build.
Nathan actually just competed at the France show. Let me see if I could put.
Bro, that's his best look so far for sure.
Oh yeah, you feel like the France show was a good look?
I think it was his best look he's had this year.
I will say the lighting. I didn't like the lighting. I felt like
Right.
it looked like an auditorium. Like
Yeah. It was a little bit.
there's no good downlight. It was just like the light was straight at him. So the
But
oil.
look at how tight his skin is. Just like, oh yeah, no, I liked this look on him a lot, bro.
The only thing is from the back. I don't know if he was as hard from the back, but that could be the lighting. Like his glutes didn't look as hard as I felt.
Yeah.
That first shot.
Nathan's glutes never really striate though, bro. He doesn't really have that like striated glute like how some people do. You know, some people have like crazy striations, and some people kind of just have that boxy more
Yeah,
glute. You know,
like Derek has the crazy shredded.
right, right. Like Brett Wilkin has
Wow.
crazy shredded glutes.
Yeah, he does.
You know, there's just certain people that have crazy cross striations in the glutes. You know,
That's
but like you can tell in his quads and shit that Nathan was flat out dry to the bone here, bro.
he
He
looks
is. He is. He looks incredible. Obviously, nothing. What I said ever
No, I
takes
know you're
away
not
from
trying to
him.
take anything
It's
away
just,
from him.
yeah. It's just apples and oranges, you know.
preferences, yeah. Preferences. Like to be honest, man, I was never a big fan of like Dorian's physique. I like
Yeah.
Dorian's work ethic more than anything, but like
Yeah.
I didn't really. I could understand why he won because he was shredded as hell and he was big and wide, but I couldn't really see, like, I couldn't look at him and be like, wow, that's the I want that physique. It's such an amazing physique. I didn't look at him that way, you know, with all due respect, you know,
Yeah.
but for me,
He
Kevin,
definitely didn't have the best legs.
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Like Kevin Lavoni and Flags and Sean, man, I thought even Lee Labar, I like Lee Labar's physique, you know.
Oh yeah.
Those are more my cup of tea, personally.
So everyone that I've ever asked that got to see that in person will just tell you, like, bro, the cameras sucked so bad back then that it will never put Dorian's perspective, like his conditioning in perspective. You know, he would be 290 and come all the way down to like 250, and he'd be peeled at like 270 and still pull 20 pounds off of him to just dig everything out. So he looked like one of these like middleweights that sucked down, you know?
I can see that. I can see that because I was at the Cal and Ross, man, as shredded as Ross was, I don't think the camera picked that up. Honestly, they were all in shape. You know, some people thought Tony was a little softer or Sergio was fat. You know, I mean, Sergio actually looked really good in person.
Yeah.
But there's levels to this shit, man. Somebody can come out when Sergio came out like, oh, Sergio is on. But then when, you know, Tonio comes out, you're like, holy fuck. Then Ross comes out, you're like, okay, Tonio has way more tools than Ross. Like he had a more impressive physique, but Ross was so peeled, bro. I didn't even know glutes could look like that. He was almost too peeled. I was like, holy fuck, like what's going on here? His ass dieted all the way to his fucking crack, bro. It was like it was crazy. But I think some people kind of like, how did he win? He literally won because he was so peeled. I mean, that's the
Dude,
only.
when you get like that, man, like I'm gonna tell you what, like you can't take your eyes off somebody like that.
Can't.
It doesn't matter if he's the biggest dude on stage. It doesn't matter even if he kind of sucks at posing. Like when you're that peeled, dude, it is hard not to look at that guy because you don't see it very often. Like
No.
we've all seen dudes with crazy shape. We see it all the time, man. We're all pro bodybuilders at this point. Like
Yeah.
like we get to see dudes with freaky shape and a lot of muscle all the time. But there's only a handful of guys that get like disgusting, out of their mind, face sunk in, look like you're gonna die peeled. And when you do, it will pay off.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Amen.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody in person as peeled as Ross was. You know, and it's crazy because his energy is still high. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what he's taking or what stimulants he's on.
He was 219, right? Oh, when he won.
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah.
Tonio's his coach at the time told me that he was 213 at the New York, and then he came in heavier. He was, I think, I don't know, 217, 219, a little bit heavier at the Cal, you know. But sometimes being smaller is better, you know.
Yeah.
I've been smaller every show I've done for like the past 3 years, and everybody's like, "Oh, you added size." And it's like, technically I added muscle, but I'm actually competing lighter and lighter because shredded. Nobody cares.
Right.
You don't even get a look. Like nobody cares about you if you're not shredded. So you got to be in shape, you know.
Yeah, bro. Phil won his first Olympia at 232. Jay Cutler was like 261, and all the other guys were like, far above Phil. But
Yeah,
he looked bigger than everybody, bro.
bro. Yeah, that's really all you.
Muscle bellies are nuts.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to use Phil as an example because he's an absolute fucking freak. But
The freak of nature.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
yeah.
he the freak of nature. Yeah, man.
Dexter was 228 when he won the Olympia.
Who
Yep.
that?
Dexter. He
Oh
was
yeah,
228 when he won.
bro. You know how they used to put the weights at the show, like, oh, Dexter Jackson 5'7", and they used to put 250. And I'm
Yeah, they
like, bro,
lied.
I'm like, Dexter doesn't even touch 250 in the offseason. What are you
That's like his peak max weight he's ever been to in his life.
I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, who wrote 250 here? I'm like, they're like Rolly Winkler 80. I'm like, bro, what
No,
what are we talking about?
This is rigged.
They look like it, but bro, it's
right.
not. It's not even close. I feel like guys nowadays are being a little more honest with their weight because
Yeah,
guys they used to definitely hike it up 10, 15 pounds, bro.
easy,
This is a solid side chest, man.
bro. Nick has a few shots, bro, that he's completely made his go-tos, man. Like his side chest, his most muscular man.
Yeah,
Those are two hard ass shots to beat on Nick, bro. I'm tell you what, and his rear double is incredible.
you know what? Like,
That's very true. Yeah.
I always have a lot of respect because I remember when Nick was coming up, and man, everybody was so negative, bro. Like he'll never do this, he'll never turn pro, he'll never win a pro show, and
Yep.
he keeps doing it, and I have a lot of respect for that because it doesn't come easy for everybody, right? Some people have to really bust their ass, to get where they need to get, and then they get there, and people wonder why they are the way they are, but it's because they had to work for everything, man. Like he didn't have any handouts. He's been busting his ass, man, and I definitely
Most definitely.
I feel like I respect.
No, man. I mean, everybody knows Nick and I've had our ups and downs or whatever, bro. But we're cool, super cool now, honestly. And I got to give credit where credit's due, man. Like I was one of the people that was like, this fucking dude looks like a refrigerator. He ain't never gonna do it. And now, dude, like, I mean, he's shut my fucking mouth. Like, I mean, he's a bad dude.
Yeah, but I got to be honest. Like I saw potential, but obviously not what he did. What he was able to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually had him on my podcast when he was still an amateur, and I definitely knew he was gonna turn pro. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
I gotta be honest. The New York pro, I was like, he's gonna be in the mix. I didn't actually think he was gonna win. Once he won that, I was like, wow, that's incredible. The Arnold, I really did not think he was going to win the Arnold. I got to be honest with you. It's easy to look now and say, yeah, he won, but it's like, I didn't think he was going to beat those guys. I really didn't think he was going to beat those guys.
No, I didn't either.
But once
that Arnold look was his best look, one of his best looks.
He looked incredible at the Arnold, bro.
It was a phenomenal.
Yeah, when he won that year, he was like hands down the winner. It was a clear-cut one.
Yeah.
Honestly, once I saw him in that lineup, I was like, damn, I think he could win this. But we weren't used to seeing the judges reward like the new guys like that at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, even if he deserves to win, is he gonna get the nod or he gotta pay his dues, right?
Right.
I'm like,
right.
He got it. I was like, he got it, which I was impressed, And then I feel like Hunter's coming into his own now too, because we've never seen these kind of lines from him, His waist is looking better. The detail in his back and glutes, I never thought I would see that from Hunter.
Yeah.
He never.
I love Hunter, man. I've known this kid since my first national show. We met in 2018. And I've always, I think Hunter and I have some similar shape. So I've always loved his physique, bro. And I've always told him, I said, Hunter, if you get peeled out of your mind, man, you could be Mr. Olympia. I've said that from 2018. I've said that. And he's finally doing it, bro. He's finally doing it. I got to see it in person at the Texas. These guys, bro, if they figure out how to peak him, because they haven't figured it out yet, he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We just talked about you versus Andrew, and Hunter he has a very similar look to you because he was really peaked well conditioning wise. He was full of the house. Only thing I noticed is he was losing control of his midsection toward the end, which you don't have that issue. I didn't see you losing
No.
midsection,
So I mean, I do think part of it is Hunter needs to pose somewhere where it's uncomfortable. He's really comfortable here when he poses there. Like I posed in Metroflex for like 45 minutes every day where I was literally like drowning in my own sweat.
Yeah.
So like if you can control your breathing in there when you're breathing like 120-degree air, you can do it on a stage pretty easy. And I feel like that saved me. And I know that Andrew Jack was doing the same thing. They put him in a room, they turned the heat to 105 and they posed him until there was a puddle of sweat around his feet.
Yeah.
So that made a big difference. The other thing is like everybody thought that Hunter was full as a house, bro. He was not. Hunter was flat at Texas. He was really flat. So his legs, bro, his legs are so fucking big that when they're flat, they still look good and full. But I've seen Hunter like a million times, bro. And when he came out, I was like, oh shit, Hunter's legs are flat. Yeah. So, as you go, bro, as you get flat, everything just starts to get harder to hold on to. It's harder to keep that waist in because the abs aren't wanting to contract as hard and hold on to stuff. And I really think that's what happened is he went flat. Then he started to sweat because he was flat. And when it got a little blood sugar drop. And I talked to Tyler between prejudging and finals, and he told me, bro, he said, I'm going to let these boys decide who wins. It's a straight tie in my mind. And he said, I'm going to pose them until someone gives up and someone wins. Yeah. And that's what happened,
Yeah, it's funny you say that because at the USA's, I was so flat that I couldn't feel anything.
Yes.
Like, we pose, like you said, I couldn't even feel my abs. I didn't even know if I was controlling my abs. Couldn't feel my arms. I couldn't feel my legs. So I'm like, oh, it's a horrible,
that's the worst,
bro. It's a horrible feeling because you don't even know if you look good. How do you know if you look good if you can't feel anything? So like when you're full, you can tell you look good. You can feel it. You're like, oh, you feel your arms veiny. You feel the vascularity. You feel everything. So at the cat, I felt it. I was like, oh, I'm huge right now. I feel it. I'm hard. At the USA, I was like, bro, I don't know where I'm gonna place because I can't feel anything. So when I was in the first call out, I got kind of emotional. I was like, damn, okay, if I made the first call out with this flat, that's that makes me feel good. I'm like, okay, so if I actually peak, then I'm gonna do very well for myself. But yeah, when you're flat,
and people don't realize how like peaking is so hard, bro. You can look good in the gym every day for fucking 6 months and mess up one thing, drink a little. Like I think most people's mistake is actually trying to go too far with cutting water and taking diuretic and this and that and this and that. But bro, like it could be 20 ounces of fluid is the difference between feeling every muscle when you pose and having what happened to you where you can't feel shit.
100%. Like the last podcast when we had Colossus Ken on, he was literally last place the year before. Then he was Did he bring like a completely different physique? No, it was literally what I want to say 15%. Like it was literally loose. His hams were soft. That caused him to go all the way to fucking 8th or 9th place. And his hams are hard, or his legs in general was hard. It made his quad sweep look better. You saw the lines, and so it created just and he showed us. I think it was a week before, a week after last year. And you're like, bro, like you look like you were spotted, like you were ready to be spot on. So it was one little mistake in peak week that took him from, he would have won that one because that was even an easier show, if anything. He would have won that one. So he went from first to last and then back to first, basically. So
bro, you remember when I lost to Chuck Kitty?
No, which year was that?
North Americans 2019. I lost to Chuck Kitty and it was second in the heavies, bro. And like, it was just like that. Like every day I posted, you know, I used to do that when I was an amateur. I posted my check-ins every Saturday. I
Yeah.
told you guys my diet. I told you everything, like everything, right?
Uh,
And bro, like I posted going into that, and everybody was like, "This is over. Marty's won this whole show. It's done for." I posted a video the day before, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's over tomorrow. Marty won." And then I came out a little bit flat because they had us in the hallway too long, and it just completely shot my physique, bro. And I got second place, and I was completely devastated, bro, because I thought for sure, like, this is the one. I had it in the bag.
yeah.
And then I came back in 2020 and we nailed my peak, and bro, and that was the craziest shit ever. Like in a tent, in during COVID, like all sorts of crazy shit, you know. But we just like we had it figured out by then, you know. We dialed it enough times, and I think some of that too is like these guys. One guy misses your peak, a coach misses your peak, and you run off. Like, bro, give a guy some time, man. It's easy to mess up, dude. Like, just like sit around, work with the guy. I know you've been with Compton for a long time, and even though you ain't working with him, you still like shoot stuff off of him because he knows your body.
Exactly.
And that matters, dude. That really matters. I mean, the guy that turned me pro, Nelson, like he's been in my corner since day one, and he never left. Like even when I was with Branch, I was still sending him pictures like, yo, how, like, tell me your feedback, because I just want to know, because I know what you say, I can base stuff that I tell Branch off of and everything like that. Because dude, learning a body takes time, a long time.
100%.
And most of these guys that were really good, like in the 90s, most of them learned their bodies themselves, man. That's why Branch was good. He learned himself. And that's why I decided to do a lot of my own self-coaching, was because I wanted to be able to be that smart to where then when I give somebody the reins, I can tell them like, hey, I'm not full yet. I know you think I look full, or I know you like this or that, but like I promise, like I know what it feels like to be that perfect. Like I know what my Texas feel is like. And so to get me there, we got to eat more carbs, or we got to drink less water, you know, like you got to know those things. And having somebody that's been with you consistently for a long time makes a big difference.
Exactly.
Yes, very true.
So yeah, I feel like that's something that I didn't understand before, that you had to also give your feedback. I was the guy that I would send check-ins, get the program, and I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't say, yo, this is how my training is going. I've been feeling super weak, super fucked up, or I feel great. I wouldn't say anything. Just get it and leave. But even when you have a coach, there's a lot that you still have to observe and learn. You can't just do it. You have to be like a learner as well.
Yeah, you can't. No, don't be a robot, man. That's a huge mistake as a bodybuilder. Like every day, you should be taking notes for yourself, and then and give feedback when it's asked for and applied. But like, dude, that's huge, man. If you're not doing that for yourself, and just for a performance standpoint, I mean, like I know like some people are just like, oh, like they get pushed into the ground and they just dog in training. It's like, bro, if I got to that point, I'd be calling Nelson like, yo, you gotta fix this shit, dude. I ain't training for shit, and it's fucking me up mentally.
Yeah, well, that exactly happened to me with Compton, but I didn't tell him anything. You know, 'cause my training, at least at the time, it was super high volume, super heavy weight. So literally, I would work up. Let's say I'm doing deadlifts. I would work up all the way to like 6.25, and go down to 6. You know, all the failure, then go down to 5, then go down to 4, and I would do this for every exercise and do like 5 exercises. Obviously, if you have to go very low carbs to get in shape, you can't continue to train that way. You know, or you have to match it with the food, whatever the case is.
Right.
You know, he would pull back the carb up the cardio, and I kept training like this, and I couldn't understand why I felt so shitty and I couldn't function, because you know, my nervous system was shot. You know, no energy, and but I didn't tell him that, so I would just. I would get up some days and I couldn't get out of bed. I'd be like, fuck, how can I do my cardio? And I would literally sleep until I had enough energy to like roll out of bed and do cardio on the bike. And I'd be like, okay, let me try to make it to the gym. And I would have my girl drive me to the gym. It was so dramatic, bro, and over the top. And it was horrible. I didn't tell him any of this until like weeks later. I'm like, bro, I couldn't get out of bed today. I know it sounds like I'm being a pussy, but I'm telling the truth. I tried a bunch of caffeine. I can't move. He's like, wait, how did he get to this point? Like, what is going on? He's like
Right.
I've been feeling shitty for the past month, bro. And at that point, it's too late because I can't recover from that. And in trying to recover from that, I can't continue to drive up the cardio and lower the food. So I'm kind of at a standstill. I built up too much fatigue that I can't work hard enough to get in shape.
Right.
And then you kind of
You just need to rest. Yeah.
exactly. So if I would have told him that, he might have given me more refeeds, or he might have told me to back off of training or cardio or something. But I just couldn't sustain that. So that's one thing I learned now moving forward. I think I'm going to work with Compton, either for the whole prep or just more bouncing off, just because I'm so extreme that knowing that it's hard for me to get in shape, I'm going to go too far, and I definitely starved myself a little too much. I went down to 1,200 calories. I dehydrated way too far.
I yelled at you.
Yeah. You told me to start eating, and I couldn't get myself to eat until literally, bro. I didn't carb up till the last meal on Thursday night before the Friday show.
Bro.
And
Damn.
I'm telling my
I
girl,
told you on like Tuesday to start eating, bro.
I'm like, bro, my glutes got to get. You can't sacrifice one body part for your whole body.
No.
Because my glutes did come in, but then I lost everything else, But my legs, I never seen my legs that small. I was like, holy fuck, my quads were like melted, It had good shape to it, but it was melted. So
yeah.
I'm not.
And nailed you the best placing you ever had.
Yeah, which is funny, but that shows you how much conditioning matters, because you won't even be looked at if you're not in shape. So they're like, okay, this guy is flat as fuck. Because you see him at the couch,
shredded,
but he's in shape. So we're gonna put him in the first call out. That's crazy, That's crazy. Because the guy that was fifth, he was pretty fucking huge, but he wasn't as peeled. He had some weird stuff going on with his skin too. I don't think that helped him. He had like, when you say bad acne, bro, it was pretty severe.
Yeah.
Like to the point, if it's distracting, that's not good.
Yeah, you can't have that.
You can't have that.
But that was a good super heavyweight lineup. Normally it's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
But that one,
you were all
of them were shredded and big, all top 5. Yeah.
To be honest, man, I did not expect them to all be. I know Joe was going to be shredded, but Joe is really a heavyweight, and then he was slightly over. He wasn't looking any better for dropping weight, so he did super, and he knew he was going to win the overall regardless of what weight class he was in. But yeah, I didn't think they were all going to be shredded, man. I honestly didn't. So I was like, as long as I'm shredded, I should be good here, But they were in shape. That third place guy was pretty underrated. He was pretty big and pretty shredded as well, as well. And I was watching Eric Janicki, and I was watching him. I was like, he shredded from the front, but those glutes, man, he had big glutes, but I wasn't seeing no lines. I was like, I think I could take him. But he was fucking massive, bro, which is crazy because I was bigger than him in the off season, but he peaked better than me. He met and our weights
he started eating on Tuesday when he was told to.
Exactly. And the craziest thing about body,
look good.
We were still about the same weight, but he looked twice my size. Like you don't have, it's an illusion, right? So it's like, you can have beef jerky muscle, dehydrated fucking muscle that still might weigh the same as full of glycogen, Yeah,
absolutely.
Man. We've been on here for a while. Let me see. What other? Let me see if anything.
So Martin, what's your next show, bro?
So I'll apply for the Arnold in November's when the applications open up. So that's my plan, bro. That's the one I really want to do. I want to get my feet wet here in the States. And I really want to I want to see what I look like against these other guys. I've got to stand next to Andrew now. And in my opinion, he's a top 8 guy, probably this year. And so to me, that's where I want to stand is with these other guys. I'd love to see my physique next to Samson's. I'd love to see my physique next to Derek's if he decides to do the Arnold, maybe. That
would be a great matchup if you and Derek get a comparison.
Yeah,
I can see the resemblance. It's very, very similar.
Yeah, I would love that, man. And I've been a huge fan of Derek for a very long time. So to stand next to him would be cool, man. And I think even Hunter's talking about doing it. So that would be another person that I would really love to stand next to. We've been friends forever. And so that's the first show. And if I don't get that, man, I'll definitely shoot at the beginning of the year, doing a run of 2 or 3. I took all this time off so that next year I can come back and be on stage a lot. Like I'm going to make it to the Olympia. So, whatever
Hell
that
yeah.
takes,
Yeah.
but I'm really happy with the improvements I made, bro. A huge focus for me was chest and arms, and then just overall development, But my chest and arms have come up a ton, man. My arms are up almost 2 inches. And you guys know me, like I don't really get fat. So when I say that, I know that they're going to be up at least an inch, at least maybe an inch and a half. So I know that I've made the improvements that I needed to make, or that the judges told me to make. And then some of the things that I wanted to improve on as well, just muscularity, density. You guys know how hard I like to train, and how heavy I like to train. And I know that the density this year, the conditioning that I'm going to be able to bring with that, because the muscle is so hard and it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to really be able to dig into this real deep and show a kind of conditioning that hopefully most people never get to, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't doubt.
honestly, I didn't think for you to like qualify for Olympia, I didn't think you needed any improvements at all. But like now knowing you better, I kind of get how you think better. And just making it to the Olympia, that's not good enough for you. It might be
Yeah.
for some people, right? A lot of
Yeah.
shit. If I just went to the Olympia, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But the way you think, I know you don't want to just be another guy there. You want to be.
No, for sure, bro. That's 100% how I thought. I mean, Branch and I talked about that even last year when we shut things down. We still had, there was 2 shows left or 3 shows left. Brett did the Romania and the Spain over there.
Yeah.
And Branch was like, hey, man, like you can take a 4 or 5 week break and you can go qualify. You can do the Legion Sports Festival. You could do those shows that Brett's doing. And I was like, look, man, like I don't want to go to the Olympia and get 14th place. Like I'll lose my fucking mind. Like it will be worse than me getting second place at a regular show. Like I just can't. I'm honest. Like I'm mentally not stable enough to get 14th place, bro. That would break my heart. Like it would tear me to shreds. And so for me, it was like, just go back and improve. Like you want to be a better bodybuilder anyways. Like you want to be top 5 in the world. And to do that, you got to go be better anyway, So, and it's not like I was going to get a check at the Olympia, or, not a good one if I was. And so like money was another thing. It's like, it's not going to do you any benefit there. And business wise, I don't think it really would have benefited me to get there. So for me, it's like, I did the things that I needed to business wise this year. You guys saw with the social media, I really wanted to grow my presence there and take a different approach. And it really worked for me. And I honestly, like for the first time ever, I enjoy social media. Like I hated it for a long time, bro. It was just such a task and a burden. And now I really enjoy it, man. The support I have and the people that message me and stuff, like they really appreciate what I'm doing. And then also like because of that, I got to focus away from like filming, training and all that stuff, and just be a bodybuilder and get back to like the basics of what I love,
Yeah. That's dope, man. Yeah. I always tell people the best thing you can do when you go into the off season, grow your muscles and grow your brand, right? So grow your social media, all that. It's just part of the game right now. We talked about that in the last podcast. A lot of people say, if I competed these days, I would never do that. And it's like, yes, you would. You would, because you have to.
You have to. If you want to make money in this, you have to. Like it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not 1990s anymore, bro. Like I would have been the best bodybuilder ever in the 90s and the 2000s, because I could have shut my fucking mouth and locked myself in a box, and they would have put my pictures in magazines, and it would have been just fine.
And like none of us like necessarily enjoyed it. Like I kind of hated it in the beginning, like you said, but then you kind of find like a rhythm and you're like, it's not so bad. And it becomes kind of like second nature. You're like, it's really not that bad, But I used to hate the camera on me in the gym and stuff like that. I used to hate talking to the camera, but you kind of
Yeah, that part.
yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of find a rhythm that you like, and a podcast is easy because I usually have people that I like, so it's like it's not that hard to talk to people, and
Yeah.
it's just pretty like. And even filming nowadays, I don't make it a thing. Like I don't even have a video guy anymore. It's like whoever my training partner is, he'll catch a couple. I catch a couple flicks, stuff like that. Unless I'm making a real elaborate video, as low key as possible, so I don't feel like there's like a bunch of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? But that's dope, Marty. I mean, listen, I think anybody with any experiences, knows that you're gonna go really far in the sport. Just the work ethic and your hatred for losing, I think is a good thing. I think champions hate to lose because that's what's gonna motivate you to win. You got.
I'll tell you something right now. So my dad started me wrestling when I was 3 years old, and man, I would get so mad when I would lose. I'd be the biggest sore loser ever. Like punch the wall and throw my stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody would be like get after my dad. Like, why don't you yell at him for being a sore loser? And my dad would just be like, I just tell him if he doesn't like that feeling, then he better win.
Simple as that.
And, I took that to heart, man. Like I'm still a sore loser. I really never got any better at it. I just try to win every time because when I do, then I hate losing more than I like winning. Winning is like the feeling that's supposed to happen, and when that doesn't happen, it's a heartbreak.
Exactly. Some people are just winners. If you're a winner, you're just not gonna like losing. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who they might just win because genetically they just that far ahead, and some people win just because they want to fucking win. Like Branch is he wanted it more than the other guys.
100%, bro. 100%. Chop his arm off, chew the hand off, like whatever you needed to, bro. You do it to get it done.
But guys, I'm starting to go hypo again. You know what that means? It's time to
It's time to eat.
It's time to go eat. But yo, gentlemen, thanks for taking the time out to come on a Monday. I know Mondays, are definitely hard to film. Everybody was busy yesterday, so I was like, let me see if I can get anybody on for Monday. But I think that was a solid podcast, man. I think that was a solid.
Hell yeah, man. Turned out good.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Go get something.
I appreciate you having me on, man.
Of course, man. Go get
Thank you, Beatty. Appreciate it, you guys. Nice meeting you, brother.
And you too, man. We'll be talking again soon. I'm sure we'll chop it up on here again.
Facts.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
All right,
have a good one, you guys.
Gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day, gentlemen.